42. Blue 42. Sit.
Spanning the universe to bring you the most important content in the world of relegation fantasy football. This is Relegated, the podcast where every match matters and no take is out of bounds.
All right, so we're back. A little hiatus for the boys, but we are back in action, shooting our podcast for the 2025-2026 fantasy football season.
Crazy. Third year
running. Today we're going to be going over the vet draft, talking about grades for each team, who they acquired, how they set themselves up for the season, any moves that they made in the offseason, and then leading into the real season. So do we want to just get started, start talking about the teams?
Yeah, let's just jump into it and give these very, very accurate grades that nobody could argue with.
Right.
I mean, they're perfect.
This is where it's an objective grading. So this is true and factual.
Yeah, not subjective. This is 100% accurate.
That's
and we've put a lot of thought into this.
Yep, exactly.
We built a spreadsheet, and now we're going to look at the spreadsheet for the first time.
Luke has spent a little bit more time because he created the spreadsheet. But
that was it.
That was it.
That was it. I just created it so we could look at it.
All right. We'll start out with the roided raw berries, Mr. Ben Freebie.
Yeah, starting in the championship league. We'll do all 8 championship league teams first.
Starting in the championship league, we'll talk about the guys that he acquired in the draft, starting with Chris Olave for $20.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's fine. I'm looking at his team just overall. Like, I don't know if I have anything specific for each individual guy. I kind of wanted to talk, actually. Let's talk about before the draft started for him, because he made 2 trades that kind of set him up with Trevor Lawrence and Sam Darnold. So he traded away 2 second-round picks to set him up with that. What do you think, looking with hindsight now, how do those moves feel to give himself 2 starting quarterbacks for essentially 2 second-round picks and and $17?
Well, the one thing to keep in mind first and foremost is that the roided raw berries before this didn't have a solidified quarterback. So giving up two second round picks doesn't feel like the end of the world when you need to acquire somebody to throw a football.
Yeah.
If I'm talking from the sleepers, which I tend to do often and with bias,
makes sense.
I'm high on Trevor Lawrence this year, but only because I got both of his receivers.
Yeah, you better hope.
Yeah.
Better hope he does well.
Right. If I'm going to pull myself from the equation, just based on previous seasons, I'm not a huge Trevor Lawrence guy. Just seems like things don't always click in Jacksonville. So we'll see how that ends up. But definitely a top half quarterback, not a bad acquire. I think worth it for a second round pick. Same with Sam Darnold. A lot of speculation around Darnold this year. Had a great season in Minnesota. Looked like he finally found his, kind of his steam a little bit. The issue now is he's out in Seattle, doesn't have Pete Carroll, and definitely doesn't have KOC. So
that's the big one. No KOC.
Yeah, no KOC. Are we going to see a resurgence of Sam Darnold, New York Jets? Or are we going to see
a resurgence of bad play?
Of bad Sam Darnold? Or is it going to be confidence levels have risen? He's a better quarterback now. Probably doesn't touch the numbers that he did last year is my guess. But I do think somewhere in between, probably higher on the positive side.
Yeah, I think he'll be startable for fantasy. Although, I mean, I guess I don't know. I think he'll be startable for fantasy. I think he'll be fine. He'll get numbers, but he's going to be middle of the, like somewhere between 14 and 20 on the year.
Yeah, I think Trevor Lawrence, Sam Darnold, probably a similar quarterback.
I think Lawrence has higher upside to me, but I think that's just because I trust the coaching and the scheme there a little bit more.
Yeah, agreed. More tools too. You have more. I mean, you got JSN in Seattle, but outside of that, you lost DK Metcalf. You don't have Tyler Lockett anymore. Cooper Kupp, but a lot of speculation around Kupp too this year.
Yeah.
When do the wheels fall off? They kind of already started.
Yeah, that's true.
I don't know. Again, circling back, I do not dislike it for second round picks.
Right.
So
I think it's fine. I think it was a fine play.
Yep.
And then in the draft, he picked up Kendre Miller, who's apparently the backup to Kamara now.
Okay.
Calvin Kamara. So that's good.
I did see that actually.
Flyer on Brashard Smith. Damian Martinez is, it was a $1 pick. My guess is just kind of had to buy somebody.
Yeah.
Isaac Tesla. he's interesting. Wide receiver out of Detroit. I think he could be a great. I wanted him. I didn't want him for 10.
Yeah.
I wanted him for a bit cheaper, but I still think very interesting pickup. Christian Watson, if he gets healthy, could be an interesting
Saying
play
he's
late in the season or keeper.
Yeah, they're saying he's should get some time in Green Bay. People are kind of forgetting about him because of Matthew Golden coming in, Jaden Reed picking up, some slack, and
Is he going to be back from his? I don't know.
not
what his
right
injury
away.
Stuff.
No,
okay.
no. But the expectation is that when he does return,
He'll have a spot.
yeah, that's the goal because it's either him or Dontavian No Hands Wicks.
Right.
So
It makes sense.
it's not a extremely competitive wide receiver room in Green Bay, which pros and cons, take it as you will.
Right.
If Christian Watson's fighting for a third spot on a bad receiver team, but still $5. And I think we do need to talk about early on. This vet draft was pretty inflated for prices.
It was weird.
It was expensive because not a lot of value out there, and a lot of people had money to spend.
We have yet to have a draft be similar.
No, yeah, true.
All 3 years, every draft has been so drastically different.
Yeah, I wish I was getting prices that we were getting in the first draft. Oh my gosh, Eckler for 14 would have been Eckler for 2 probably. Well,
Oh,
no,
for sure.
not that year, but this year.
Right. Yeah. Actually, Eckler went. You bought him, didn't you?
No, I didn't have Eckler. No, Joe Bourbon Barrels bought Eckler, I think. Or-
whoever it was, he went for a lot, didn't he?
I think so, but he was projected to have a really good season.
Yeah.
He was
Right.
supposed to be like a top 5 guy.
Yeah, I think you're right.
Yeah.
And then he did nothing.
And then he did absolutely nothing. Getting into the tight ends, we have Cole Kmet for $3 and Noah Fant for $1. Do we know where Noah Fant is right now? He's not in Seattle.
He got cut. I don't know where he is.
Yeah,
Genuinely don't know.
I don't either.
So probably not that important.
And Tank Dell for $1. Honestly, that's a pretty good pickup.
Could be.
Potentially. I mean, it's a dynasty
keep him
league.
for $2 next year.
Yeah, exactly.
Because now we have the difference where it's 10% of whatever you drafted him for. So he'll be $2, $3, $4 by
Yep.
the end of his contract.
Yeah, and then didn't talk about Zach Ertz, but also Zach Ertz for $8. Looks like he's going to be the starting guy in Washington right now. That's who they have it slotted.
I think that was a good pick.
I do too. I think there's a little bit of competition there with Sanat. He could.
Yep.
They're kind of similar guys, and if they want to start building their tight end room, probably got to stop talking about Ertz at some point.
Yeah, he'll probably fade away a little bit. And then he decided to keep Bijan, keep Aaron Jones, $63 and $44.
63 for Bijan doesn't feel too bad. Aaron Jones for 44 feels a bit high, even with the inflated market.
Although you look at, I think he made the right choice if he was wanting somebody at that price point because Joe Mixon went for 46.
Yeah, and Joe Mixon's not going to play the first 4 games like Aaron Jones is. I do want to talk about Chris Olave a little bit just because it's an interesting player to discuss right now.
Okay, yeah.
So much potential around Chris Olave in the last couple of years. Pretty high expectations. I think everybody's going in this year with speculation on quarterback room and concussion protocol.
Right.
I don't think he's a trustworthy play, but like we talked about, the inflated prices, Chris Olave on a flyer to potentially be a 200-point player this year, promising. 200 points for
That's
PPR.
high. That's really high.
I've been looking at PPR leagues so often lately.
Half
so-
PPR, I think Jamar Chase was like 230 or something like that.
Yeah,
I can't remember.
Yeah, you're right. So if Chris Olave can do,
I might be way off on that.
yeah, I don't know. Yeah, Jamar probably was higher than that because he was like a 300 plus in PPR.
Let's
so
see. I can probably find it.
it'll be interesting to see. Honestly, I got Chris Olave in another league for like pennies on the dollar because nobody likes him this year, but I kind of like him as a flyer.
But do you like him for $20?
Nah, I mean, different for our league. I don't necessarily think it's terrible for our league, to be honest.
Yeah, you had to spend money on somebody.
If he had the money to spend it, I don't hate it. $20 in my other league would have been really bad
Right.
because then I would have outspend myself by $17.
Let's see. I'm trying to find 2024. Oh, yeah. 339.5 points for Jamar Chase last year.
Yeah, that's insane.
That's crazy.
Yeah. So,
Okay.
yeah, I mean,
So maybe 220.
200 is probably close to what we're looking for out of him. But if we had to grade the Royded Robberries as the first team in the championship league to talk about, where are you putting them at?
I am going to give this a C plus.
Yeah, it's kind of where I'm floating around too. C plus, yeah.
It doesn't necessarily look like a team that I think is going to get relegated, but it also doesn't look like a team that has a very good chance to win a championship.
Yeah, it's tough not to take the other players into equation because I know we're really just talking about the vet draft and how they set themselves up, right?
Well, I just want to look at, everything. So I'm kind of looking at like, did they make the right choices? I guess we should. Yeah, it's kind of, I'm probably grading that wrong. I'm probably grading the team rather than the draft.
I think it does play a part in it, though, because the draft is set up to fill holes in the roster that you already have built. So with that being said, focusing on the vet draft itself, and then
did he fill the holes that he could?
Did he fill it? I think he did, but to what extent? I think kind of middle of the pack. I would say like a C. It's about a C draft.
I'm gonna stick with C plus. I think that does feel right.
Okay.
I think he filled some holes. He has some good flyers, but I don't look at it and think, you made any really great moves. I think it was the trades were very safe, and keeping Aaron Jones very safe. Bijan was a good decision. I think it was a great decision to keep Bijan at 63.
So do I. Yep, that was a great play. That was his best play.
Okay, so C and C plus. Huh?
Yeah, so somewhere in that range, in between a C and a C plus. If we move on to the Big Lake Lumberjacks, Mr. Ross Dunlap, we're going to be looking at a couple of the players that he drafted. DK Metcalf for a staggering $41. Matthew Stafford for $13. Rashid Shaheed for $10. That's something that we should circle back to. I think that's a great play. Roshan Johnson for $9. Keep in mind, Roshan Johnson for $9. Roshan. That's what his boys in high school called him. I'm in that group. We'll just go through some of these running backs. Roshan Johnson for $9. Tyler Algier for $12. AJ Dillon for $3. Jarquez Hunter. Did I say that right?
I think it's maybe Jarquez.
Okay. $6 for Mr. Hunter. And then Kenneth Gainwell for $1. Now that's a good pickup. Kenneth Gainwell for $1 is looking real good right now.
Really? Why?
Oh, I'm thinking, well,
he's not in Philly.
RB2? Isn't he set up for RB2 as, I think I'm thinking of Miles Sanders in Carolina. But
Miles Sanders is in Dallas.
Yeah, same.
Same.
I'm trying to think. Somebody was talking about Kenneth Gainwell as the projected number 2 somewhere.
Let's see. Let me look up where he's at right now. He's in Pittsburgh. So no, he's going to be 3rd on the depth chart, I think.
No,
he's beating out Caleb Johnson right now?
He's beating out Caleb Johnson.
Okay.
I picked up Caleb Johnson in a draft. He was projected just shy of 11 points in PPR. And now the only things that I'm hearing is that he's underperforming like crazy. So it's looking like Jalen Warren's backfield with Kenneth Gainwell as the backup and Caleb Johnson sitting in the 3rd place spot. Some of these price tags probably sound a bit high, and not to kind of beat a dead horse, but these are actually not terrible prices.
Oh, I think he did a great job. DK Metcalf for 41, great buy.
Yeah, it's a good. Yeah, I think
that buy.
I think it's a really good buy. I think Rashid Shaheed for $10 is a phenomenal buy.
Yeah,
I think he is. I mean, we just talked about Chris Olave. When Shaheed was healthy last year, he was putting up numbers better than Olave.
I would way rather have Shaheed for 10 than I would Olave for 20.
Same. Yeah, same here. I think those are both really good acquires.
Coming off of a torn ACL, though, sometimes you might see a down year. But
yeah, that's true.
But he still will probably have more games played than Chris Olave. If I had to bet, I would bet more games for Shaheed than Olave.
And honestly, Isaac Guerendo for $5 looked good during the draft.
He kept Guerendo.
Oh, Guerendo kept him for $5?
Guerendo, which I think is a good move.
I think it's a good move, but now he's definitely the RB3 in San Francisco.
Behind James?
Brian Robinson.
Oh,
CMC.
That's right. The trade. Brian Robinson.
Yeah,
that's
so I think Mr. Isaac is probably sitting in that 3rd place spot now. But before the trade had happened, he looked like the guaranteed number 2.
Well, there was a question marks.
I don't know. He had such a good year last year. I think a lot of people were high on him if CMC went down, which a lot of people are expecting.
Yeah, at the start, I think. But then that rookie that they drafted, something James, whatever, had a pretty good preseason.
Yeah, I can't remember.
He got a little hurt. I can't remember his first name now. But it sounded like they were kind of having a battle for backup.
Interesting.
I could be wrong.
Well, yeah. Again, in a league with a lot of competition around the running back, you kind of got to pick your flyers, and you're going to have to pay for them a little bit. We'll talk about my team later on. I definitely took some flyers on high price tags, so excited to talk about them. But
okay, and then at wide receiver, he drafted Jalen Tolbert. Doesn't mean I don't care.
Yeah,
Kavante Turpin. Don't care.
Also don't care.
And before the draft, okay. This is going to dock him massively in my book. Before the draft, he traded away CeeDee Lamb for Mike Evans. So it's Mike Evans and $4 for CeeDee Lamb. I don't like that move.
I don't like that move either.
I think I do not think he gained enough.
Who was the trade with?
Slumlord.
Slumlord acquired CeeDee Lamb for a discount.
I think so. I mean, I don't know.
What was CD,
Mike
what
Evans
was
is fine.
What was CD
but-
projected to be this year? How much do you remember?
For points, or what was he projected to go? Oh, I think if he 51 was what he had to be kept for. Is that what you meant?
Yeah, so 51 plus $4, so you're paying $55 for CD Lamb.
Yeah.
That's not bad.
No.
That is a steal.
Yeah. And then ultimately, I think what Mike Evans is $24. So he essentially got Mike Evans for 20. But so I understand it's a massive jump. And
Yeah.
maybe that's what allowed him to get DK Metcalf. Like he probably wouldn't have been able to get that.
Probably not. But could he have acquired something for, less than DK? If you're
Not
spending,
really.
There wasn't
Yeah.
a lot of options.
No, I mean, Jalen Waddle went for 49 or something like that.
I'm pretty high on Jalen Waddle this year, though.
But for 40, I
was surprised he went for that much, but I'm high on him.
I'm not that high.
Nah, probably not.
Honestly, I thought Jalen Waddle would go for somewhere in like teens, low 20s.
Oh, I don't think so. I was higher on him this year, and I haven't been high on him in the past. The reason that I say that is more and more weeks go on, the more Tyreek Hill looks like he's turning into Antonio Brown a little bit. There's just
going crazy,
a little nuts,
weird.
man. Getting a little mental.
Gonna take off his jersey and just walk off the field.
If that's the case, Jalen Waddle's a clear number one.
Yeah, if he can do anything with it.
Yeah, that's true. And he needs Tua to stay healthy, and he needs Devon Achane to stay healthy. That Miami team.
Well, no, if Devon Achane goes down, then he's doing a lot better. Because Devon Achane takes up so many targets.
He does take up targets, but he also takes off a bit of pressure. I don't know.
Maybe.
Tough to say. It's a little
Maybe.
back and forth. But if we were going to grade this, Dalton Kincaid for 13, Taysom Hill for a flyer buck, Matthew Stafford to fill his second quarterback spot behind Jalen Hurts. I'm going to give it, we're in the B's now. I think this is a better draft than the Royd Robberies had. I'm going to give it I think I'm going to give it a flat B. I'm high on DK and Rashid Shaheed. I like Kenneth Gainwell.
I like Tyler Algier for 12. If Bijan goes down, he's a good handcuff.
Yeah, he's a good handcuff. That's true.
He handcuffed. He doesn't have Bijan, but I guess it's a good handcuff of somebody else's. But then he also handcuffed his own DeAndre Swift with Roshan Johnson.
Mm-hmm.
So that was a good move.
That's a good play.
I think you're right. It's in the B's. I'm giving B- though because I can't give more than that with him giving up CD.
Yeah.
And I get it. Like if he texts me and says, "Hey, here's the draft," because I can't remember what money that would have left him with.
Yeah.
But if he could have had CD and DK, I would way rather have that. And maybe it's not possible. Like maybe I'm blue sky. Like I just don't realize what the financial situation was completely. But I would so much rather have CD plus whatever.
Yeah.
I don't know. Oh, we losing. Sounded like something was falling.
We might be losing one. I'm gonna stay different just because I think it's more fun. I'm gonna go B if you're gonna go B minus.
Okay.
I think I'm floating right in between though. If it's a B, it's an 82% or whatever that is, 83%.
Wouldn't that be a B minus?
Isn't 81 and down a B minus?
I thought like 84 to maybe 83 to 86 was a 80 to 83 feels like B minus.
Yeah. So yeah, it does.
So 84 to 86 B, and 87 to 89 B plus.
Yeah. Yep. I think so.
All right.
On the lower end of a B, but we'll talk about the Texas Turf Hoppers now. They made some moves in the draft.
Defending champions.
The defending champs.
They had a lot of money to spend.
Yeah, couldn't resist Travis Etienne again, even though he continues to get worse.
Couldn't resist either Etienne. He now has both Etienne brothers on his team.
Yeah, with a quick $29 difference in pricing. Travis Etienne goes for $33. Extremely inflated prices on those running backs still. Travis Etienne for $33. You're not going to see that in any other league.
No.
Dallas Goedert for $12, Tyreek Hill for $39, Ramondre for $22, Trevor Etienne for $4, Ty Johnson for $1. You got Michael Wilson for $9, Brenton Strange for $9, and AJ Barner for $1. A couple of those guys in there I like. A couple of those guys, even with the inflated prices, seems extremely high.
I really liked the Brenton Strange tight end flyer. I think that. Well, I guess he went $9 on him.
It's still kind of expensive, but
high.
I'm high on Brenton Strange, so I think $9 was the right price.
Yeah, I think it was fine.
Yeah.
I think it was fine to go for. He had the money. That's not a problem.
Michael Wilson on $9 is kind of a fun little flyer too. Getting Ramondre Stevenson for 22 is actually not that bad, but the issue is the guys that he got, I'm just so low on this year. Travis Etienne and Ramondre Stevenson, I just don't think they're going to be good. But realistically, with the available running backs in the draft, pretty solid prices. $33 for Travis Etienne. Can't seem to get over that. Just even still feels high. I don't know why. I'm low on him.
Yeah, well, low, but considering, I mean, where was he on the running backs available?
Top 5.
Yeah.
Yeah, which is crazy.
So if you have the money, spend it.
And
You
then-
don't have to worry about having a contract where you can keep him. Just have somebody you can play.
yeah.
So I
yeah.
don't mind that buy. I would
I don't
rather
either.
have Travis Etienne for 33 than Joe Mixon, who might not play right away, for 46.
Yeah, same. Yeah.
I said that, and I'm not sure I agree.
Yeah, I know. I was
with
thinking
it.
that too. I think
But
I
it's
agree.
close. It's close.
It's very close. I've been watching a lot of videos lately talking about never draft a guy who's injured going into the season.
Yeah.
Not a whole lot of flexibility in our league to make those decisions.
No, sometimes you just gotta hope.
Sometimes you just got to go for it.
Okay, you're low on Tyreek Hill, but Tyreek Hill for less than Jalen Waddle. Is that a good buy? $39?
I don't.
I mean, the upside's still there.
The upside is still there. Tyreek Hill for 39 makes sense to me more than Jalen Waddle at 49, but I still. He was kind of just one of those guys that was a little untouchable for me. Unless I was going to get him for absolute dirt, I don't think I was going to spend more than like $25 on Tyreek Hill.
Yeah.
Like realistically. So the issue is, I think he got the price points that were expected. I don't love the players that he got.
I think this is another thing where you have to look at what was available.
100%.
Did he? And I can't remember what he had, like how much he left on the board of guys he could have kept instead.
Mm-hmm.
But he kept guys like Jalen Wright and Blake Corum, who I would not have kept for $4 each. I think that take that money and whatever other money you have. There was more interesting flyers than those two guys to me.
I like the Blake Corum keep because you already have Kyron at $18. So realistically, you're paying for RB1 in LA plus his handcuff.
As long as Corum is that guy, Jarquez Hunter might be that guy.
That's true. But I think I'm giving $4 on Blake Corum as a flyer if he's already my
That's
handcuff.
fine. Yeah, because he already has Kyron. That's fine.
Jalen Wright.
I think that was a bad
absolutely
keep.
not. Yeah,
I think
I'm
that
not
was a
keeping
bad
Jalen
keep.
Wright.
I think keeping Burrow and Dak were both good keeps. I did not think he would. I thought he was going to let Dak go, and that was a real bummer to me.
Yeah, I think
So
I think
because
those are
I
good
was
keeps.
bummed by it, I think that means it was a good keep
I would agree with that. Even though 16, in some leagues might sound like a little bit.
of an overpay for in a one quarterback, but in 16 teams when everybody's buying a lot of quarterbacks,
Yeah.
I think that was good.
Yeah. Yep. I agree. I don't hate his quarterback room, and he's got Cam Ward and Tyler Show on the back end for $0. So I like Cam Ward for $0. We'll see what Tyler Show does. I mean,
Yeah, Shuck. He didn't.
Shuck?
Yeah, he didn't win the starting job.
oh yeah. Who's starting?
What's it? Rattler, Spencer Rattler. I
Oh,
think,
did he
got the
really?
start.
That's a bad sign then. Because
Yeah, if
Spencer
you can't beat
Rattler-
out Rattler or Hayner
Yeah.
or whatever his name is, I mean,
that's bad. Yeah, that's not good.
Not great. But I like Cam Ward a lot.
Yeah,
I do.
Cam Ward for-
Although I'm not going to take into account for this grade how he did in the rookie draft, because I think Cam Ward was a good pick in the rookie draft. Mm-hmm. But I'm not going to take that into account for this one.
I'm going to take the Texas Turf Offer draft. I think it's closer to Roided Robberies than it is to the Big Lake Lumberjacks. So I think I'm in the C range. I think I'm going to go with a flat C.
Okay, flat C. So same as Roy to Robberies then. Not even closer. Same as
I think it's a
Robberies.
lower C than Roided Robberies.
Really?
I think so. I'm just not, I'm so not
You just
into
don't
the
like
guys
the
that
buys he
I
got.
don't like them. Even though I don't hate the price points, which I think that's kind of where I'm staying at C, is I like the potential that Tyreek Hill could bring. I like the handcuff. I know it's not technically the draft, but I like the Blake Corum handcuff that he kept. I like Bretton Strange for $9, and I actually am higher on Michael Wilson than most people are.
Okay, quickly, before I give mine, I just want your take. Would it have changed if he had spent his money a little differently and bought either Mark Andrews or Njoku off of me? Because we were going back and forth on both of those. I ended up taking both. I was kind of playing him on the Njoku, and then he just let me have him.
I like Njoku this year. Njoku is one of those guys that, again, talking about injuries, and we don't have a lot of flexibility in this league. I think Njoku is a bit of a slept-on tight end. He never really has a great quarterback, and he seems to put up.
Hey, he's put up big numbers with Flacco.
I know,
He has.
yeah, and Flacco's starting the season. Now,
Yep.
the issue is I saw a video the other day that was talking about how many games Flacco has played in the last since 2018, he has yet to break double-digit games.
Yeah. Well, part of that is that he's never really been the starter from the get-go, right?
Yeah, but that's a long stretch where you're given an opportunity to play 9 games, and then you're not coming in the next season as the starter. You're only getting older.
But that's because there's no upside to that.
I know. Flacco looks good, but I think, in my opinion, that Cleveland Browns team, like Njoku and Jerry Jeudy, if those guys start
could
popping
be a
off,
mess.
if they start popping off early on, I would say try to sell them early on, because sell them at their highest value. At some point, Joe Flacco is not going to be the quarterback in Cleveland.
Well, I have him. Would you like Njoku? I also have Flacco.
Sorry.
No. That's okay. I'm just saying they're available. The trade market's open.
I like Njoku for the first 6 games of the season, but it's so much turmoil out there. Unless something weird happens with Shedeur Sanders and he's actually as good as Madden 25 thinks he was supposed to be.
Yeah.
I don't see that Cleveland Browns team taking a step forward. So, I probably would have graded it a little higher with Njoku just for I think they're going to have a really good start.
Okay. I like it. I'm going to give him a B-. I'm not as low. I think he got good prices on guys that could bring more value than I liked it better than the Raw Berries draft. So I'm going to go B- on that one.
And I do want to, kind of state this is really I'm really considering mostly the vet draft here. I'm not saying his team is a C. I still think he has a really good roster.
Oh, no, I agree. But
Just the
I like
offseason.
I like actually Tyreek Hill for the price he got him. I think the high upside of that. And I just think like Ramondre Stevenson he could have a decent enough role. He could still win touchdowns. He could whatever. We'll see what happens there. Or if Henderson, who has had injury issues in college, Ramondre could be a starter.
Yeah, that's true.
Not out of the question. So I liked some of the buys he got for the price. So I'll give him a B-.
Okay, so
All right, let's
land
move on to
C+.
long necks now.
Yep. Lake City Long Necks acquired J.K. Dobbins, one of the top guys in the RB room for the draft, for $29.
I don't hate that buy.
I don't either.
I really don't.
I don't either. He had a good season last year. He looked very promising. He looked pretty healthy.
Before we get into a couple more guys he drafted, guys he kept, what do we think about Justin Jefferson for 72? Was that a good keep?
Even as a Vikings stan, $72 for a player who's probably not going to finish wide receiver 1 seems like a lot of money to dish out.
What would he have gone for had he not been kept?
Oh, man. Probably 65 plus. So you kind of got to look at it as
It would have been close.
Exactly. You don't know who's going to get dropped yet. You don't know what the wide receiver availability is going to look like in the vet draft.
And it wasn't great.
No, Justin Jefferson would have been the shining star.
By far.
My guess is Justin Jefferson goes for like 68, and it's not a guarantee that you get him. So 72 isn't crazy, but it does feel pretty crazy on paper.
And he had the lowest funds, or one of the lower funds of anybody in the championship league.
Mm-hmm.
So
the one thing to keep in consideration, though, is he has Puka Nacua for $9. So if you combine those two, 79 for Justin Jefferson and Puka isn't crazy.
No, 81. How about that, Matt?
Yeah, that's too much. By the way, I work in finances. Sam Laporta for $10 is a great deal. Isaiah Pacheco should be coming back this year, 24. That's a great price point for
I'm going to
running
say
back.
that was a great keep because I thought he might let him go. Like Pacheco was one of the guys on the edge that I thought, oh, he might be available. If I let Mixon go, I can throw that money at Pacheco.
Yeah.
I think because I thought that was going to happen, good keep by him, and the prices ended up skyrocketing.
Mm-hmm.
Skyrocketing. I think he did a good job.
Honestly, if you look at the Lake City Long Necks keepers, Brock Purdy for 10, Jaylen Warren for 15, Jacoby Myers for 13, Tucker Kraft for 5, JJ McCarthy for 4, Puka for 9. There it goes.
Which one was that?
The middle.
Oh, and the frame broke.
Oh.
We'll have to buy a new one.
Yeah, that's all right.
All right.
I think his keepers are great.
Well, especially considering that none of them are, or not all of them are obvious keepers.
Right.
Like they're all kind of borderline. Going into it, it's like, should we keep it? Should we not?
Yeah.
And I think he did a good job with his choices.
Who's kind of standing out other than Pacheco? Who's kind of standing out as a guy who you may not have kept?
Jacoby Myers for 13.
I think that I was low on Jacoby last year, and I think I was kind of proven wrong. I think Jacoby Myers is a solid player.
He's fine, but he's nothing like super. He's not like a hot commodity. He's a flex guy. Like you want him as your flex, maybe wide receiver 2. Yeah. And when you're looking at it thinking $13, could I Go get somebody more exciting.
Probably. I mean, hindsight is 2020 after the draft. The answer is no to
No,
that.
the answer is no. But,
Yeah, but
so
you're
that's
right.
why I'm saying like before,
Yeah.
I could have easily been. If I was looking at his team, I probably would not have kept Myers for 13.
Yeah.
And I think he made a good decision.
I kind of like Cedric Tillman for $5, even though we're
Love that keep.
just talking about Cleveland, but Cedric Tillman's got a good spot out there. He definitely did not have a lot of money going into the end of this draft. A lot of the guys that he picked up in the draft, Antonio Gibson for $1, Devin Singletary for $1, Craig Reynolds for $1, Elijah Mitchell for $4, Raheem Mostert for $3, Olamide Zaccheaus for $1, Quentin Johnston for $5, Tutu Atwell for $1, Ty Felton for $1. So he didn't have a lot of money. He didn't have a lot of flexibility, kind of like what we're talking about.
Right.
But a couple of the fun names in there, somebody who could maybe have a season. Quentin Johnston for $5.
He really had no money to spend.
He really
and a
didn't.
lot of that is because he kept Jefferson.
Yeah, exactly.
So he had no flexibility there. He went Dobbins and then he waited.
Yeah, he pretty much
waited
waited.
forever to find people.
He didn't have a whole lot of room for like moving around, I guess.
Yeah.
But I don't hate it. With what he had, I think he did a pretty good job.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree. I'm looking at it. I think a lot of it is his keep decisions.
Yeah.
It's not an A for me
No, it's not an A.
because I don't know. It was good. I'm gonna give it it's between B plus. I'm gonna go B just to be.
I was gonna say
I feel
B
like we're
too.
gonna see something better, and I'm gonna be like, oh, then it probably shouldn't have done.
It's not
that.
a B plus. I would lean on the lower end of B, but I think we just found our first one that we agree on. I think it's a B.
All right, perfect.
Andover Avalanche drafted Patrick Mahomes for $31, Woody Marks at the running back position for $8, Evan Ingram for $19, Zach Moss for $2, Devon Vele. I know him. I just don't know how to say his name. Trey Tucker for $1, Noah Brown for $1, Devontae Walker for $1, Luther Burden he'll be keeping for $0 because he drafted him. Ben Sinnott for $4, Colston Loveland for $0, drafted him. Foster Moreau for $1, and his big money spender, Joe Mixon, who will not be playing the first 4 games of the season, already $6 price tag.
Yeah, that's right. He got put on the PUP, didn't he?
He
'Cause
did
didn't
get put on the PUP.
activated.
Yep. So Nick Chubb, I think, got signed to the Texans.
You also didn't mention he kept Saquon for 61.
He kept Saquon for 61. That was his big one. Kept Zay Flowers for 18. George Pickens for 27.
I like both those keeps. I think Pickens is a good keep. Actually, that's another one where looking at it, you could have easily let him walk. And now after the draft, you're probably thinking, I made the right choice.
Yep.
Although, if you start to look at it as a whole, if all of these people just said, we'll let them walk, the prices would not have been as inflated.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, that's a really good point to make is if everybody had more of a, hey, this seems like too much money, then the prices probably would have been more accurate
Right. So
to what you're getting.
So yeah, I guess
Lot of
I'm still
keeps.
going to say, I'll still say good choice.
I'm pretty high on George Pickens this year. I wasn't a huge George Pickens guy like last year or in Pittsburgh really at all.
Yeah.
It's always seemed like he had some like issues off the field.
Well,
or-
he's just a weirdo.
He's a weirdo, but I do think he's going to come in. He's got a new space in Dallas.
Mm-hmm.
I think he's going to look more like T. Higgins this year. And I think that's going to be promising for
I agree.
Dallas.
I think that's a good comp.
Yeah. Zay Flowers for 18. Honestly, probably where he's supposed to be at, but I'm not high on Zay Flowers this year. He's been disappointing,
He's fine. He's a wide receiver too.
Yeah.
Nothing.
but as a 1.
Well, I think Pickens might actually put more up than him.
I agree.
So
I thought you were saying wide receiver 1. Wide receiver 1 in Baltimore or wide receiver 2 in Baltimore.
oh no, I'm sorry. I think he's a top 24 wide receiver.
Yeah, he is. He is a wide receiver 2.
Which I guess for us, top 32 wide receiver. So I think
is.
that's fine for $18.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah. But I would like to see him. He's probably more of a Jacoby Myers, in my opinion. And that's 13.
Yeah.
So tough to say. And obviously, we have the advantage right now. We have all the
Hindsight,
information behind
everything.
us.
Yeah,
so it's
yeah.
like, oh, why'd you do that?
Yeah.
Stupid.
Idiot.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, what do you think of Mahomes for 31 and no backup quarterback?
That's what I was going to say. $31 for Mahomes seems high, but you don't have another quarterback. So
Yeah.
you see a lot of these guys who are getting kept from previous drafts. $10, $16, $18 almost feels high, but then you look at a Patrick Mahomes when there's not a lot of availability in the quarterback room or on the quarterback draft room. $31 seems about right. Does feel high when you look at it on paper.
Yeah, and I'm double checking just to make sure he doesn't.
Saquon for 61 is a great price. I think that's exactly where he should be,
Yep,
if not
I think
higher.
I
If
think
he
it was
would
a
have
fair key.
if he would have found his way into this draft, he would have gone for 70.
I think he would have preferred to trade Saquon,
Probably.
get something for him, but I don't think he was getting the offers for it.
Yeah.
Because I don't know. I'm not super high on Saquon this year, but also I wouldn't have passed up that price if I had him.
No, same. I'm probably keeping him for 61, but based on the research that I did, a lot of people talking about him taking a step back, and rightfully so. You're not going to hit 2,000 yards back-to-back seasons, but you're also probably not going to touch the ball 480 times.
Well, there's no way he does because he'll get hurt before then.
Right, exactly. People are saying that Saquon, in previous seasons, when players get this kind of workload,
Yeah.
you're almost like guaranteed to have some sort of injury the next season.
Yep. Yeah.
Saquon is built differently. Like, he is an absolute superhuman.
Well, not that different. Wasn't this like his first
Oh,
full
that's
season?
true.
So he's
Yeah, that's true,
but
actually.
yes, he's built differently than me.
Built, yeah.
He's slightly
That is
stronger.
so true. I totally forgot about that. It's kind of recency bias. Part of the reason is you have a way better O-line than in New York.
Way better.
Way better, so you're not getting hit so much.
Yeah.
But that is a really good point that he was getting injured in New York.
Yeah. So it's not like I think it's reasonable to expect he'll get hurt some point.
Yeah,
this
I
year.
think so. And I don't know if it's going to be long-term. I don't think he's going to find his way on the pup, but I think he's going to miss a total of 3 to 4 weeks.
Which I guess is a lot of us wasting time talking about Saquon, who doesn't really matter for the grade of
Yeah,
this.
the
Because I think it was a good
conversation
move.
itself. Yeah.
I think it was a good move.
Yeah, but if we're just talking about the players that he drafted, there's not a whole lot going on here. Joe Mixon
No.
for 46 is
I think that was an overpay.
I do too. I think it was an overpay. Patrick Mahomes for 31, probably an overpay. Available
I think-
price tag, but
I wouldn't say overpay for what the draft was.
yeah, that's
For,
true. Yeah.
Like, I think that's fine. That's for
31
where
is just
everybody
so
went. I mean,
crazy.
taking a look at where some of the other quarterbacks were drafted for.
Did anybody else get drafted?
So far, nobody. All these
Geno
guys have-
Smith for 16,
yeah, like
Aaron Rodgers for 8, Marcus Mariota for $1, Matthew Stafford for 13. I don't know. 31 feels high. I would have much rather had Matthew Stafford or Geno Smith for those price tags than Patrick Mahomes for 31. Because honestly, last year Patrick Mahomes was not that impressive in fantasy. Yeah, he's a winner, and yeah, he carries his team to playoffs.
But we know he can do that if it's needed.
Yeah, but-
so so
Yeah.
here's the thing: if the Kansas City defense has a couple injuries where their defense isn't stopping people as much, he can go back to throwing that, and he has the weapons to do it with Xavier Worthy.
Yeah.
Depends on what Rasheed Rice's
That's what I was going to say, though.
suspension is, but
They're talking about 6 to 8 weeks right now for Rashee Rice.
yeah, no, I
That's what
get that,
That's what the league wants.
but I think
Chiefs are pushing for 3-game suspension.
I think Travis Kelce's in a better spot than he was last year.
I agree, and he's engaged. Congratulations!
I know.
to Taylor Swift's boyfriend.
I know. Yet we're so proud.
We're so happy.
So proud of him. I'm trying to think who else is that you got. Hollywood Brown.
Yeah, he could have a bounce back season. He was injured last year,
they
but
drafted that Jalen Royal.
yeah,
Their weapons aren't great,
no,
but they're not terrible, and I think he could still do more than Geno.
yeah. I think they're going to be similar. I think. Oh no, Geno's in L.A. or
Vegas.
Vegas, yeah.
I
Not
would-
a lot of options there. Probably better, yeah.
I'm gonna say that he's probably more like $10, so maybe a slight overpay.
Yeah, but
But
Stafford for 13 compared to Mahomes at 31. Both got drafted same night.
I would rather have Mahomes because I worry about Stafford's back and injury.
Uh,
Like if you're only going in with one quarterback,
yeah, true.
I would rather have Mahomes.
Yeah, but if I was him, I would have taken Matthew Stafford and then like another quarterback. Get 2 quarterbacks for the price of $31.
I think what he should have done is probably not pay so much for Evan Ingram and spend a little bit more, like take a lower guy
yeah.
and then spend a little bit more on a backup quarterback because he's putting himself in a dangerous spot with only one QB.
Yeah. One thing to keep in mind though, Evan Ingram, first year he came to Jacksonville, had kind of a breakout season. Now he's his first year in Denver, coming from
You think it's a first year in a program thing?
yeah, I don't know. It kind of feels like it. I had Evan Ingram the first year he was in Jacksonville, and he was a fun tight end to have. So now that you have Bo Nix throwing to you, you have a couple more options. Marvin Mims looks a little bit better this season. RJ Harvey in the backfield. I don't know. I actually kind of like Evan Ingram. $19 feels high, but price point, I don't hate that pickup, to be honest. If we were going to
Yeah.
grade this draft for the end of Avalanche, I'm probably a bit lower on it. But
I am too.
Where
I
are
am
you
too.
at for a grade?
I'm going to say probably he didn't have a ton of money going in. He made some okay keeps. He got Woody Marks, which backs up Joe Mixon. That was
Yep.
a good move.
Yep.
I'll give him a C.
Bummer. That's right where I am.
Is it?
I
I
was
mean,
gonna
we
go
can
see-
agree. We don't have to.
Yeah, but it's kind of fun not to agree.
That is true.
I'm going to go, don't take it personally, I'm going to go C minus, but I would have gone C if Luke didn't say C.
And I think had you gone first and said C, I might have gone C minus.
Yeah,
so we were in a similar boat.
I was on the lower half of the C grade. Let's talk about Fluffy, though. One of the teams to get promoted this year. Congrats to Fluffy, the three-headed horseman. We have Devonta Smith for 49. Feels pretty high, but, you know, that's kind of what people are going for. You are paying $10 more for Devonta Smith than Tyreek Hill, though. That kind of puts it into perspective for me a little bit.
Which is why I look at Tyreek Hill and think good pick for Austin.
Yeah, that's true. Shout out. I would probably add a couple more points to the grading system for Austin on that one. I think I was speculating a little bit too hard on Tyreek. I think Tyreek for 39 is good. Devonta Smith for 49 feels a bit high. We will see here in a little bit, though, that Jalen Waddle went for a very similar price. So you're kind of paying that for a top tier wide receiver, too.
Yeah, but they could have gone earlier on Garrett Wilson, which you got for 35, 36, something like that. Like there was other options, but they kind of waited.
They wait.
Kind of backed themselves into a corner they knew they needed a wide receiver and they waited until the tier break of, well, I guess the tier break was Waddle just after, but it was one of the bottom two guys left.
I won't lie, that Garrett Wilson pick was a very tough one for me. I am not a big Garrett Wilson guy.
No.
The fact that I got him for $35
neither,
afterwards was like awesome. I'm super pumped about it. And I saw kind of like, I was able to see a little bit like, wow, there's still a lot of money on the table and still a couple of guys that are a bit worse than Garrett Wilson.
Yeah.
Somebody's going for a pretty high price tag. I think I just stole a deal.
Great move. I think that was a great move.
Yeah. Not to talk about me, though. Let's talk about Fluffy.
And why they didn't draft as good as you.
All right. This is my type of podcast. Yeah. Geno Smith for $16 feels a little bit high. We were talking about quarterbacks, though, and the availability of them. He also got Tyson Bagent. Is he still in Chicago?
So back up to Caleb Williams. He just got a new contract.
Good pull for $1 because now you have the backup to Caleb Williams. So I really like that. Khalil Herbert for $1. Don't hate it. DeMarcado for $8 feels a bit high.
Don't like it at all.
Nick Chubb for $1 is looking incredible right now. You're guaranteed the starting running back in Houston for the next couple weeks.
Yeah.
At least the first 4. They already said he was.
Yep.
So Nick Chubb for $1, great pull. Tim Patrick for $1, Jahan Dotson for $1. Jahan Dotson just got released, so $1 is almost an overpay. I don't know if he's going to get picked up. He just got released by the Eagles.
I mean, you can just drop him.
Yeah, you can.
You can just go grab somebody else.
That's true.
There's still a few guys interesting out there.
I like Greg Dortch for $1 better than I like Jahan Dotson. Mason Taylor is a keeper for $0. Luke Farrell and Grant Calcaterra for $1 a piece. Tight end room is lacking a bit after Brock Bowers, but hey, you got Brock Bowers.
You got Brock, who cares?
Who cares? They have, again, not trying to focus on the keepers too much, but they have some great keepers.
They do, which gave them a little bit more wiggle room coming in. Well, I guess not a ton. Not a ton. They really could only buy a couple because Derrick Henry and Josh Jacobs.
They spent the bulk on Smith. They spent almost everything on Smith, actually. One of the guys that I wouldn't have kept if I was them, DJ Moore for $30. Probably around his price tag. Low on DJ Moore this year.
Yeah, but when you have Caleb Williams, you're hoping that works.
Is your stack.
So you're kind of betting on the Bears do make it. Like, I think it makes a ton of sense for them.
It does.
I think it was a good move. I think the guys they kept were good decisions. Henry for 51, Jacobs for 53. Those are, I mean, all of them are probably at the top of what their price should have been.
Yeah.
But it was a good idea to keep them because they would have gone for more.
Pre-draft, before everybody submitted who they're not keeping, I was thinking, dang, Derrick Henry for 51 and Josh Jacobs for 53. You're spending $104 on your starting running backs.
Yeah.
Is wild. Now, I would kill for those two running backs at $104.
Yeah, I think that was great decision making.
I do too. Really good decision making.
I think they knew they needed another wide receiver, so they spent on Smith, which I think they did it wrong. I'll give them a slight knock for it, but also I think they did it right in the sense that they knew they needed somebody and they weren't going to let price stop them. They just got what they saw was available and said, look, we just won't keep him. We just need someone in the lineup this year.
Yep. I think they missed it by a half step. Talking about Garrett Wilson a little bit. I think
agree.
they could have gotten somebody for a little bit cheaper. But when you look at it, we've kind of talked about it a little bit. Devonta Smith and Ladd McConkey for $53. Not bad.
Yeah.
Not bad.
Yep. Okay. What do you grade in this one?
I'm gonna go. I'm like in between a B- and a C+ again. I'm gonna go B-. I like the keepers, And I like, the keepers that they had in order to, leave them with the money that they did have. I think they did okay. Nick Chubb is a great pickup in my opinion. I think they needed Devonta. They had to pay the money.
I'm around a similar spot. I think they went probably like B+ with what they decided to keep. I think they made great, maybe even A-. But I also like on what they decided to keep.
Yeah.
But then I think their in-draft decision making was like a C-.
Oh, okay.
So it averages out probably somewhere to a C+, B-. I'm going to agree with you and go B- as well. Just to lean on the fact that I think sometimes it's easy to forget that you have to make the decisions on who you're keeping before,
Yes.
and that can get forgotten with who you drafted. But I think they made great decisions on who they kept. So I'm going to give them a B-.
Yep, I like that. Honestly, on the higher end of a B-. I said C+, B-, but it's not a C+. With what they had, they did what they had to do. The only thing keeping them from being a B is probably the overspend on Smith. But
yeah, if they had been able to diversify that a little, and if they could have gotten somebody like a Tyreek or like a Garrett Wilson in the 30s, and then spend an extra 10 on somebody else who's interesting.
Yeah.
Like some sort of late flyer,
like a Marvin Mims for 14.
Yeah, well, yeah, that I don't know if that financially would have added up, but yeah, I agree. Somewhere around there, like probably a guy in the high single digits. Like,
if you don't spend 49, let's say they got Tyreek for 39, you save $10. I think you allocate that towards a guy like Marvin Mims if you can get him for like 12 to 15.
But wasn't everybody else like $1? Oh no, DeMarcado.
DeMarcado was $8.
That was a bad.
That was a bad
so,
pick.
So
that's where it's B- for sure.
You're right.
$8.
If you go Devonta Smith and a Mims, that looks a lot better. Yeah.
Let's talk about the Bourbon Barrels real quick. They picked up a couple quarterbacks and Aaron Rodgers for $8 and Marcus Mariota for $1. They also got Robbie Oost for $1. I don't even know who that is.
I think it was an auto pick.
Okay.
I don't think anybody knows who that is.
All right. Jaleel McLaughlin for $1 is right where he should be. Marvin Mims for $14. I'm higher on Marvin Mims than most people. Probably feels like a little bit too much, but that's what they were going for. Troy Franklin for $4, Jimmy Horn Jr. for $1, Keenan for $1, Luke Musgrave for $1, Austin Hooper for $1. Keenan Allen for $1 is fun. I like that one a lot. I like Marvin Mims for 14. Like I said, I'm a little higher on him. I'm not that high on Aaron Rodgers, but he is a starting quarterback, and you have him backing up Jaden Daniels for $4. So if you really look at it, you're paying $12 for your 1 and 2 quarterback. Not bad. They also kept some really good guys. Like one of the guys that I kick myself on at almost every episode is Chuba Hubbard for $11 is such a good deal. Roma Dunze for $4. Tyler Warren was a draft. James Conner for $37 feels a little bit high. Inflated running back room. Prices, Devonta Adams for $42.
You think that was high for James Conner?
No, I was saying feels high, but not in the market that we're in.
I get what you're saying. Yeah.
37 is about where he's at. Maybe even,
he would have gone for more.
Yeah, in the draft, if you didn't keep him, he was going to go for around what Joe Mixon went for, 46.
I think he would have gone closer to 50.
Man,
because he's healthy.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, that's true. Devonta Adams for 42, I'm not high on that. I think Devonta Adams takes a step back this year.
I think I would agree. I would have rather spent that elsewhere.
But from the guys that he actually picked up, and again, his highest benchmark for a player was Marvin Mims at $14, so he didn't have a ton of money to spend.
No, he did not.
Got himself a couple backup quarterbacks, got himself a couple backup running backs, but he's pretty stacked at running back. Jahmyr Gibbs, Chuba Hubbard, James Conner, Ray Davis, and then you just pick a couple flyers for $1. Not bad. Keenan Allen for $1. I actually like this draft.
Keenan Allen for $1 was great.
Yeah, that's a great. And Luke Musgrave for $1. He's the backup.
Marvin Mims for 14, great. Especially now that Vele's gone, looks really good.
Yeah, this is a good one. This is a good draft.
It's so funny because it's the one that has spent the least.
Yeah,
he spent less than like $40 total. Basically.
But if I'm going to look at the Lake City Longnecks and take them into consideration as a team who didn't have a lot of money to spend, and they still got what, a B plus, somewhere in that range. I got to give Bourbon Barrels like a B plus. I think they did really well for the amount that they had.
Man, it is funny looking at it. I think I'm going to go B because I think Devonta Adams for 42 was. I would have rather taken that money and maybe gone after one of the guys that did get let go.
Garrett Wilson. I'd rather have Garrett Wilson for cheaper than that. I'd rather have Tyreek Hill for cheaper than that.
And I would probably rather have Devonta Smith for more than that.
Same. I'd rather have Devonta Smith for 49 than Devonta Adams for 42, for sure.
Yeah, so although then he wouldn't probably get Marvin Mims or something like that. I do think, though, you're right. Overall, You went B plus.
B plus.
I'll go B.
Okay.
But I do think the Keenan Allen for $1, great pick. That Marvin Mims for 14, great.
Yeah.
Overall, pretty solid. I think you could have done better than Robbie Ouse and Jaleel McLaughlin for Flyers.
But they're $1.
But they're $1, but there was other guys at $1 that I think maybe could be more interesting.
Yep.
I just think I've seen enough of Jaleel McLaughlin. He's never going to do anything.
He's not.
I had him. I've seen, he's just not going to do anything.
Talking about some Denver backs that
Yeah.
had played for the Broncos, I'd rather have Samaje Perine.
Yeah, I might too.
Oh, also, he's got a better situation probably.
Yeah,
Kansas-
he doesn't have
Kansas
to
City.
fight through as many people.
No, but yeah. Hey, yeah.
Okay, so
Javonte Williams.
So you're going B plus. I'll go B. I think.
Yeah.
I think that's fair and very interesting considering he spent the least so far.
Spent very little money, but
That's-
yeah, I think he did well with what he had.
I agree. So let's do number punchers here. It's the last one of the championship.
Yeah.
And then let's do relegated next week.
Okay,
Let's
yeah, I like
come back
that.
for that. We'll do relegated next week, and then we're also let's just maybe not a power rankings episode, but maybe next week we also come back and we give our projection of how we think the year is going to finish.
I like that. Yeah, that's a good idea. I think we're running a little close on time. We actually ran past. We were shooting more for like 30 to 40 minute episodes.
Yeah, I know.
We're already at like 50 minutes, but
These ones are always longer.
And it's tough because it's our first episode back. So keep in mind, we're talking about football again for the first time
too
in an
fun.
off season. I'm loving this. Like we might keep talking after the cameras turn off, but we got number punchers. Debo Samuel gets picked up for $20. New wide receiver for the Commanders. Kyle Pitts for $11.
Fine.
It's so weird to talk
Jordan
about.
James, the next
Jordan
one. That's
James.
the guy's Jordan. Yeah.
For $3 is a really good pickup.
Especially when he kept Christian McCaffrey for 69.
Number punchers, this is a fun one because it's almost the complete opposite of bourbon barrels, where they had some money to spend. They
But
kind
they
of
spread it out
they
a lot.
spread it out a lot, and they're getting more interesting flyers. So guys like Tyler Lockett for $7, I don't love that one, but that's just an example. Demario Douglas for $6.
I think that's a good one.
I don't like Tyler Lockett this year.
No, sorry. Demario Douglas. I think
Oh,
Demario
yeah,
Douglas
agreed.
is a good one.
Agreed. I like Demario Douglas for $6 a lot.
Mm-hmm.
Dontavian Wicks for $5. I'm not high in Wicks, but for $5 makes sense. Green Bay has a very competitive wide receiver room. Nobody's solidified. If he can figure out how to hold on to a football, Dontavian Wicks really does have a lot of characteristics
Potential
about
to
him.
do something?
Yeah, it's funny to say like he's a wide receiver. If only he could catch a football, he'd be a good wide receiver.
Right.
But he's so fast. He's a very dynamic player if he can just hold on.
Yeah.
And honestly, Jaden Reed is the same way, where he dropped a lot of passes last year.
Did he?
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't realize
he
that.
did. Both of their drop rates were really bad last year.
Oh, that's crazy.
Jaden Reed just found his way into the end zone so much last year on times that he had to.
That he became
That
worth it.
he was worth it.
Isaiah Bond for $4.
Isaiah
I like
Bond for-
that.
yeah,
I
so
think
do
that's
I.
a fun flyer. He's already kind of pushed out
Yeah.
Dante. Why am I blanking at Johnson? Deontay Johnson.
Deontay Johnson. Yep, absolutely.
It sounds like he's kind of passing him a little bit.
Yep.
I don't know too much, but that's what it sounds. Oh, and then he also drafted Deontay Johnson for $3.
Yep.
So I didn't keep reading.
Yeah.
he's got whoever becomes the wide receiver 3 there.
Yeah, which is nice. Nice little pocket to have. I had Jalen Naylor last year. Very fun flyer to have on your team. $5, a little expensive.
Yeah, I don't like him for 5.
No, because you also have the new guy, Felton, out there that's going to be competing for catches.
Yeah, but he's nowhere near Naylor. It doesn't sound like.
Probably not. No.
But-
Jalen Naylor last year, though, if he can do anything like he did last year, such a fun guy to throw in there if you just need a wide receiver to fill, because his chances of getting a touchdown are like 50%, and he's going to get you one catch. He's going to get you one catch for 28 yards and
He's
a
like
touchdown.
Nikhil Westbrook Akine.
Yeah, exactly. He's very similar in that sense. And I was kicking myself a lot last year. Had a touchdown in the first game of the season. Thought it was a fluke. Left him on the bench. Second game of the season, touchdown. Left him on the bench. No way he goes 3 for 3. Touchdown, put him in for the fourth game. And I think I finally cashed out. I think he had a touchdown in the first 4 games of the season.
Yeah.
So very fun player to have on my team last year. And I was the worst of the worst in the league. So I don't hate that one. Dawson Knox for $1. Darren Waller for $4. Mr. Miami Dolphin. Let's go, Darren.
And hey, he got activated. He's back.
Yeah.
I don't
He found the
think
Lord.
he'll matter, but he's back. Did he really?
I don't know. I can't
Oh.
remember. I thought he had a conversation on a podcast where he was talking about it. He kind of just looks like a reform prison mate.
He got it. Yeah. He's got that edge to him.
Yeah, he's just a teddy bear. That's what I want to say
he's
about
a lovable teddy bear.
That's what I want. I don't know if it's true, but
With
Pat,
a terrible rap career.
yeah, terrible rap career. Juwan Johnson for $2. Pat Fryermuth for $5. Freiermuth for 5, not bad.
Fine.
I mean,
I
he's-
like Jawan Johnson for 2 as well.
Yeah, Freiermuth is probably the 1A, 1B if you ask me. If I love Jonnu Smith, and now he's in Pittsburgh with
Yeah.
Aaron Rodgers and DK Metcalf out there too. I think Jonnu is the better play than Freiermuth, but $5 for Freiermuth is not a bad play.
Nah, he'll get some play.
Yeah, Deebo Samuel, if he can stay healthy, $20 is a steal.
I think it could be really interesting.
I do
actually.
too. I do too. I'm kind of high on Debo. I think a change of pace might be helpful for him. Now, the only thing that people have been saying is a lot of videos from training camp coming out about Debo. Dude looks like a mix between a tight end and a fullback right now.
Which is fine because that's kind of what his role is.
Yeah, it is.
He has the same routes as a tight end, and he runs the same exact. Well, he's
Yeah.
not fullback, but
As long as he can stay healthy and he can slim down just a little bit because he looked
too
like
big.
he-
He's like maybe slow.
he was jogging a bit. It looked like he was jogging in
Okay.
training camp.
Yeah, I
So looks a little heavy, but also I like it for $20. Kyle Pitts for 11. Yeah, I like it.
Fine.
If we're gonna grade
Fine
this, where are you gonna put this at? This one's a little bit tougher.
This one's really tough because it's very bland.
Yeah.
Very bland, but okay.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna say, I think Goff was a good keep for 12. I think McCaffrey was a good keep for. I think he's a good keep for 69.
Oh, I don't know.
He could be the RB1.
He could be the RB1. Yeah, in fantasy this year.
And then he backed him up with Jordan James.
Yep.
He has Jordan Mason.
And he has Brian Robinson.
Oh wow, that worked out for him.
Yeah, it did. And
Okay, so he's
69
got-
actually 69 feels like a really good price.
That
now.
worked out really well
Yeah.
for him. He didn't know that at the time, but that worked
No.
out. Okay.
No, I
Well,
like that
He's
keep.
probably kicking himself though, because he's like, I just lost another guy who was going to get consistent carries.
That's
but
true. That's true. But
but
you
I
got your
think it's
handcuffs. Yeah. 37 for Jonathan Taylor is incredible.
Oh man, this one is a really tough one.
I can go first. I'm going to put it at a B minus.
Okay, I'm gonna go B.
Okay. I want to go higher.
It's so tough.
I know. I
Because
know.
I'm not. I think B's too high. I've been harsher on some. I'm gonna go B minus because there's just nothing that flashy about it.
No.
He made one good choice really in McCaffrey. I think
For the keep?
that was a
Taylor.
tough choice. Like he made
Oh.
other good choices, but that were super obvious.
Yeah.
Like
Brian
I think
Robinson-
McCaffrey was right on the edge of where people could have given it either way.
Evan Ingram going for $19. Kyle Pitts is he's just the weirdest duck because there is some lore around him that like, nah, he's going to do it this year.
He's not.
He's not
going to do
He's
it.
not going to do it this year, but he might. That's the
But he gave himself enough options with Jawan Johnson, Darren Waller, Dawson, whatever. He can throw a body in and hope to get a touchdown.
Yeah.
It's nothing too great. No, I'm definitely going B minus because he doesn't have a backup quarterback, and I think that's going to really bite him.
Yeah, it is.
So definitely B minus, and without the backup, it's actually verging on a C plus for me.
Yeah, I'm gonna stay at B minus. I like Demario Douglas a lot. I like the Brian Robinson pull. I like the Darren Waller just for kicks and gigs. The keep on Christian McCaffrey after looking at it looks really good now. So $69 seems high, but that's about the price point. Jonathan Taylor for 37 is a phenomenal keep. Yeah, I'm a solid B minus on this one.
All right. So at the end of it, after looking at it, our two highest ranked ones, we think Bourbon Barrels was the best, B plus B, so averaging high B, almost a B plus. And then
Long necks. B.
Long Neck's got a B, also tied with Lumberjacks, also gave a B.
Okay.
So those were our top three drafts of the championship this
Yeah.
year.
And honestly, we're nitpicking a bit because who really knows what's going to happen? You know, things are going
Yeah.
to change a bit here and there. Somebody's going to pop off where we're talking crap about them, and they're probably going to have a great season.
Oh, for sure. And it'll look great at the end of
Yeah.
the year. But I think we
close.
didn't give any willy-nilly A's. We actually didn't give any A's.
Yeah, we didn't give any A's, and we also didn't give any D's, which is kind of funny. We were just like average. Let's look at the next team. Also average.
Yeah, probably super boring to listen to.
But I think, honestly, if you're at home right now, unless it's your team that we're talking about, I think you'd probably be like, yeah, it's about where I had them. Because it makes sense on paper. That's just, there was nothing that was too insane about this draft for the championship league.
Yeah. No, I agree. A
Couple flyers. We'll see how it plays out. By the end of the year, I'm sure we'll be like, oh, that was an A. Oh, that was an F.
Yeah. I want people to let us know what they think of this, though.
Yeah.
Like, I want to hear, where were we super wrong? Because I'm sure there are things that I'm not thinking about. I'm not looking at
Yep.
what finances they had to go alongside it.
Yep.
So I'd love to hear some other reasoning, or if people completely agree, just, thumbs up. And
Yeah, thumbs up. Give us a like. And also comment a thumbs up because we could use that as well.
Yeah, comment it.
Comment it.
That's right. We got video.
Well, that does wrap up our episode. So thanks for joining us today for another episode of Relegation Fantasy Football. New season on the horizon. We look forward to seeing you guys next week.
Are we changing the title to Relegated?
Oh, we are.
Relegated exclamation mark.
Yeah,
We haven't
Relegated.
done it on Apple Podcasts
We haven't
or
yet.
anything.
No. You can still find us at Relegation Fantasy Football on all streaming platforms.
Yeah.
But just keep in mind, we are making a change to the name. It's going to be Relegated moving forward.
Yeah. Just punchier.
Oh.
Punch.
All right. We'll see you guys in the next episode. Deuces.